Welcome, everyone. Hi, I'm Keith Vitali, and welcome to Sidekick Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk about one of my wonderful experiences I had working on a TV series called Nash Bridges. It starred Don Johnson and Cheech Marin, and it was a very popular show years ago. So I felt very fortunate when they called me up to be one of the stars and stunt fighters for this show. I am supposed to be fighting in the show my good friend Joe Hess. Now, Joe Hess and I have not only we worked on films together, two or three films together, but we also participated in an action film camp that we started with Michael DePasquale and Keith Strandberg. So we had plenty of experience working together. So this was going to be a fun experience for both of us. We fly to San Francisco. We meet up with our stunt coordinator. He was a very talented stunt coordinator named Merritt Yohanka. We were so pleased that he was going to be the guy putting the fight sequences together. So he choreographs our fight sequence. And you have to remember, Joe Hess is about 6'4" and about 350 pounds. So he towers over me, which makes a good fight. So we rehearse what Merritt put together, and it looked really good. And then Merritt filmed it so he could take it over to Don Johnson to get his approval. So he sends us back to the hotel, and we're resting because we have to shoot that same night. Merritt takes the video over to Don Johnson. He looks at it and he hates it. It was just terrible to him. It was too pretty. He wanted something much more grittier. So Merritt panics and he calls us up the hotel and he goes, listen, you guys got to get back. I'm going to send a driver, get back over here to the set. We need to rehearse an entire new fight scene. He says, and we only have a few hours because we're going to film tonight. So we got back. He puts it together. We're very comfortable working together, and we are set. So we go get our hair, makeup done. We get into our outfits, and we're ready to shoot. In comes Chief Marin and Don Johnson. Now remember, they're the stars of the show, but they're also in this episode. And what they do is they come in to find two thieves, Joe and myself, fighting each other over whatever. So what they do is they take a seat and they're going to watch the action. So now Don Johnson goes over to the stunt coordinator. He goes, can I take a look and see what they've done? He says, I just want to feel comfortable that this is what I'm looking for. And I could see how nervous Merritt was because if it wasn't up to the standards of Don Johnson's, we'd all be in trouble. So we got set, and I looked over at Joe, and Joe Hess he knew and worked with Don Johnson before, and he says, Don, you want us to go full speed or half speed or whatever? Don Johnson says, no, I kind of just walk through it, half speed. No, don't get too tired because we're going to shoot it in a few minutes. So we got ready, and I looked over at Joe Hess, and he goes, nah, let's give it 100%. This is go for it. So the director goes action, and we just tore into each other. We tore that room up, and at the end, Joe Hess picks me up over his head. Bobby slams me into a coffee table, and that's how the fight ends. So the director goes, cut. He runs over there going, are you okay? Are you okay? Don Johnson's jumping up. He's clapping. She can't believe it either. And what impressed them was they thought I was actually hurt. They couldn't believe all the abuse I took without getting hurt. And I looked at him and I said, guys, he never hit me one time. And the director goes, that's impossible. I saw him hit you in the face over and over and hit you and punch you. And heck, I just thought you were injured. And I went, he never touched me one time. And he says, all my years of filming and directing, I've never seen a fight sequence like that before. It was so good for you guys to be that talented that you could pull that off and have us think you were injured that way. He goes, that's a feather in your cap. So that was so rewarding. We filmed it. It went off without a hitch. Don Johnson was so happy. They say he very seldom does this with the stunt fighters and the actors. He asked to take photos with us. And so we had photos taken with him and Cheech. And I had to say it was one of the most rewarding times of my career that all my background, my history, my training, all paid great dividends for this one TV episode. Well, I hope you liked this story. And if you did, please like it, share with others, and subscribe. Check out my other episodes, especially the one where I have to do another Nash Bridges episode where I fight Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think you'll like that. Until then, ciao.